Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Growfold, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's in Dallas, Texas. As always, please press that thumbs up or like button for this video. I know you hear me, so let's go ahead and press that thumbs up video, as well as give me a follow on Instagram. My Instagram name is at Growfold. If you don't have an Instagram, create one so we can interact with each other. And today's video is going to focus heavily on Costa Farms plant. Shop online at www.costafarms.com. I am super excited because a plant foldie by the name of Marlon actually sent me a direct message where he showed me some amazing Costa Farms plants. This is going to be a two-part series, so I'm going to really show a lot of the majority of Costa Farms plants. It looks like this particular Lowe's location, which is right off of the Dallas North Tollway. If you are based out in Dallas, definitely check this out. I will have the address in the description, but it is a beautiful afternoon in Dallas, Texas, and I went ahead and traveled. It was quite far for me. I would say it was about a 40-minute drive to get down here, but for the plant foldies, I don't mind actually traveling so I can actually show you some amazing plants. So as always, whenever I go to big box stores like Lowe's, I always like to go in either the outdoor section. Today, I'm not really going to feature outdoor plants. It's going to literally be mostly indoor tropical plants. If you notice that there was already like some skeleton statue, I can't believe that they already have some Halloween seasonal stuff coming out at big box stores. It's really interesting how seasonality at big box stores, whether it's Lowe's, Walmart, Target, or Home Depot, moves a little bit faster than I believe it should because of just some of the items we see. But as you can see right here, we are about to enter into the indoor greenhouse. So one thing I will say about the indoor greenhouses like this, where it's a separate entity, it's not necessarily outdoors, it's more of an entrapped area, which functions more like a greenhouse. This actually gives really good growing conditions for this particular houseplant tour, just because I would say there is a higher humidity level here. It is quite hot. I know when I was traveling down here, it was already 92 degrees. I mean, it is the heat of summer. So this is a pretty hot environment. And mind you, this is going to be more than an hour-long video. So I will do what I can to, endure the heat when I film this video. It's kind of silly that I do just walk around quietly and just show you guys the plants. Most of the plants I will feature, again, are going to be Costa Farms plants, but you can't go to a Lowe's and not see Live Trends plants as well as Urban Jungle plants. I'm going to start with just a little snippet of some of these plants. You can see right here, philodendron of some sort. Not 100% sure what that plant ID is, but that one is for $14.95 in a stoneware type planter. We've got some type of grayish aloe vera plant here for $15.98 by Live Trends Design. And again, with Live Trends Design, and let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, if you agree. Do you agree that Live Trends Design has a very beautiful, modern, contemporary aesthetic when it comes to their planters? Now, as far as golden pothos here, so throughout my big box or plant shopping videos, and for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie, and I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos where I feature a plethora of different types of plants, whether it is at a big box store like Lowe's today or local businesses, small businesses throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth area market, which is where I am based at. But as you can see right here, I am just picking up a couple of these plants. We've got a philodendron hederaceum Brazil in a ceramic planter. One thing I want to note on all of the plants that we are going to be looking at today is you'll see that there is quite a bit of growth on all of the plants. So you can tell that a lot of these plants haven't been necessarily just delivered to this big box store. It probably has been growing here for about a week or 2 or 3. And the growth that you're seeing here is really a result of, number one, the big box store's care. Not all big box stores are created equal. And then number two, the ambient environment that these plants are in. So you'll think about all of the natural light that is getting through the glass windows, the humidity levels of this, and then the consistent watering that happens in this like sort of greenhouse thing. not all Lowe's locations has this type of room. I will say that the Lowe's locations that have the more greenhouse feel, their plants tend to be a little bit fuller. They have a bigger selection, and overall their plants tend to be a little bit healthier looking with lots of growth. Now this one right here is a golden pothos, and you can tell that this golden pothos is going to need a little bit of water because the leaves are a little bit droopy. But as I spin around here, I'm just going to keep showing you a lot of the plants, like this Marble Queen pothos. This one is by Live Trends Design, and it is another ceramic hanging planter for $16.98. So as far as easy care plants, we are going to be seeing a lot of easy care plants like pothos plant, which I truly believe and hope you guys will add into your plant collections, whether you are a seasoned plant collector, somebody that likes these rare variegated plants, or somebody that is just beginning their plant journey. And you know, that's the thing about my big box or plant shopping videos, is I really want to create this content where people are comfortable, people are welcome to just, you know, celebrate plants with me. So again, I am just showing you how full this big box store is. Super excited to really share a lot of the Costa Farms plants, but I did want to give a little bit more love, a little bit of love, I guess love for every nursery that provides at big box stores. So you'll see right here, Aglaonema Silver Bay. Let's talk about Aglaonema Silver Bay. Now this one right here is by Live Trends Design. Let's look at the price here. This is for $19.98 in a very stylish planter. Aglaonema Silver Bay is one of two commonly found Aglaonemas that you will find at big box store. The other one is the Aglaonema Red Siam, which I can 150% guarantee you will see in today's video. But Aglaonemas, let's popularize Aglaonemas. Hashtag popularize Aglaonemas. They are one of the more underrated, overlooked plants, but there's so many varieties. And if you follow my Instagram at Growfolds, I've been working closely with a lot of the Indonesian nurseries that provide very rare and uncommon colorful Aglaonema. So definitely check that out. I would say getting plants from overseas may not be for everybody. I do believe you got to have a little bit more plant experience, because there is a rehab period and acclimation period, and some people may not necessarily have, number one, the budget to get imported plants, and then number two, the time and patience for it. It is a tricky process, and so, you know, I will talk through that in a future video. But that is a reason why it's always exciting to go big box store plant shopping. I mean, right over here, Monstera Adansonia on a totem pole. So I really love the look of this. Didn't even realize that Live Trends Design is now delving into plants with a type of stable structure to help the plant grow up a pole. There are plants, and a lot of plants that are you see trailing, their natural growth pattern is actually to climb up a pole, a moss pole. You can see with the Monstera Adansonii, the leaves attach, or the vines and aerial roots will attach to trees in Mother Nature. Same thing with the Monstera Deliciosa. So you can see this is a juvenile for Monstera Deliciosa for $14.98 by Live Trends Design. And you can see we have another Live Trends Design planter right over here. This one is a ZZ Senzi plant, and ZZ Senzi plant, or ZZ plants in general, one of the easiest low maintenance plants I would recommend for anybody that is growing plants in an indoor space. So plant foldies, again, today I am just really excited to just pick up some plants, show you some plants. Let's give some love to Costa Farms, Live Trends Design, Urban Jungle, because we are going to see so many beautiful plants, so many plants that I love seeing, say, from Costa Farms, that I have not really seen a lot of as I go big box or plant shopping. I was a little bit concerned that during the summertime, or at least based on what I saw last year, I've been doing big box or plant shopping videos for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years, and I noticed even last year when I was filming that a lot of the indoor tropical plants started to wean off a little bit in terms of the in-stocks at big box stores. And I would say about 2 weeks ago, when I started being a little bit more consistent in filming plants and content, I noticed that some of the Lowe's that I was visiting didn't have as much in stock. So first, impressions of this Lowe's location, super full. And I truly believe that this is one of the Lowe's locations where not a lot of people know about. For the local plant foldies in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, without even me finishing this video, I did want to just show you how this actual Lowe's location is one that is a hidden gem. It is probably going to be dubbed as one of the top 3 Lowe's locations to visit in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and that says a lot in terms of a big box store. Hoya cumingiana is another Hoya that I did not even realize was endemic to my family's heritage and home country, which is the Philippines. And I am repetitive. Some people might even call me cringy, but you know what? I accept myself for being my most authentic self. I have to remind everybody about just being proud of where your heritage is from. For instance, my family is from the Philippines, and if you haven't seen my Instagram post where I actually found some old footage of some of these plants in the Philippines growing outdoors in full sun, living their best life, whereas in the United States, we grow these plants and we work a little bit harder to keep them alive in indoor spaces. Just know, as we continue to look at these beautiful plants like this Monstera adansonii, this one's actually by Urban Jungle for $24.98 with a moss pole totem pole. These plants thrive in a Southeast Asian country such as the Philippines with little to no care. So I do want to remind everybody, you know, with say a Monstera adansonii, I actually had a reel that I showed a Monstera adansonii growing up a tree, or was it an Epipremnum pinnata? Either way, one of those reels actually had what these plants look like in their native environment, or in an environment that's conducive to what they need in order to really reach their full potential. Now over here we have a Dracaena Lemon Surprise. This one is another Live Trends Design planter. Really love the mixture of mixed media when it comes to planters for Live Trends Design. I do believe that in terms of planters, some people may agree or disagree with me, but I truly believe that Urban Jungle, Live Trends Design, they are a little bit more experimental with the mixed media portion of their planters. And to me, aside from just plant collecting, in my case, plant hoarding, I mean, we talk about the amount of Aglaonemas I have. I probably have more than 180 varieties of Aglaonema, and that's not even, exaggerating. I probably have more, but there is a certain level of plant styling and plant aesthetics, and I really believe that happens with very curated, very intentional thought process when it comes to your planters, or how you display your plants, or even the color palette that you choose for your planters, or even the plants. For instance, we've got orchids right here, and we've got orchids mixed with a croton, Sunny Star croton, and a bromeliad. So we see a lot of these combination planters, and this one is for $38.98. So I'm just going to keep picking up some plants. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this location so far, and whether you would buy some plants from this location. that we've gotten an overview of the different types of plants that we have in terms of urban, jungle, and live trends design, let's start today's exciting video featuring some more of these plants, but then we're about to reach the Costa Farms plant. So let's look at this silver band marantha. This one is another mixed media hanging basket or ceramic planter by Live Trends Design. This one is for $16.98. And then, you know, with silver band maranthas or these prayer plants, they do need consistent watering. Higher humidity levels will help this plant bright in direct light, but the watering is what's going to keep this plant alive. You don't really want their soil to dry out completely for too long. And in terms of water, if you are able to water with more distilled water or purified water, it's going to give your plants a higher chance of maintaining their leaf structure versus getting brown crispy leaves, because some plants are a little bit sensitive to just hard water. Sansevieria, $14.98 in a stoneware planter by Live Trends Design. And now we are going to be looking at another hanging basket by Live Trends Design. I promise, plant foldies, I will get to the Costa Farms plants. You're going to just see so many today, but again, I like to just kind of show you what else is out there in terms of that. Now, if you haven't ever bought Costa Farms plants, definitely consider buying Costa Farms plants because they are budget friendly, readily available at most big box stores throughout the country. So today's video, you can see we've got hanging baskets right over here. And this is one of the first hanging baskets. This one is in a 6-inch hanging basket planter, $16.98. I thought this was like an Epipremnum pinnatum, like Aurea, but it's actually just an Epipremnum pinnatum sun-stressed cebu blue. And what I mean by sun-stressed, you'll see that the leaves got a little bit bleached. It's got a little bit yellow. It doesn't mean that the plant is unhealthy. It just means that it has received more light than it needs in order to really thrive. But you can see right here, Epipremnum pinnatum, cebu blue pothos, another one that used to be very uncommon, but you know, Costa Farms has made it to where it is readily available for the general public. And I thank Costa Farms for having these plants readily available. I nearly dropped this one right here. This one is a global green pothos, one of my favorite pothos as well. It's got that green on green variegation. This one is a trending tropical plant by Costa Farms for $19.98 in a self-watering planter. But I'm showing you how, look at the trailing and vining of this pothos plants. So you can see that these plants are living their best life. You will notice that lighting is definitely key in order to get the really nice bright coloration of pothos plants. But in terms of just the growth and vigor of the plants, and you can see I almost dropped it, so I'm not even going to try to attempt it because there's so many vines here. But you'll see that these plants are living their best life because of the greenhouse that they are staying in at a big box store. Like I said, again, all big box stores are not created equal, and when you find a hidden gem like this, you definitely will be inspired to buy plants. And I honestly did not expect to buy plants today, but I will show you some of the plants, Costa Farms plants, that I ended up buying. You know, my thing about it is I love Costa Farms plants. Like I said, I see them all the time. I pretty much see them on a daily basis because I am at a big box store. One thing I will say is I am not officially sponsored by Costa Farms, so I give a lot of my personal experiences and opinions about Costa Farms plants. What I can tell you from my experiences with the Costa Farms team is Justin, Samya, and all of the amazing Costa Farm team that I met while I was out at PlantCon 2025 in Orlando, Florida, is that they were super kind. They are always open for feedback, and they're very appreciative for anybody that promotes and creates awareness for their plants. I didn't even realize that they really did watch a lot of my big box store plant shopping videos. So I wanted to, shout out the Costa Farms team and, thank them for, appreciating the content. I do believe that a lot of our, viewers here have come into contact with Costa Farms plants. I mean, you can see right here, Philodendron Golden Crocodile. This one is for $19.98, but can we talk about how this Philodendron Golden Crocodile is beautiful? It's got some nice greenish, yellowish leaves, the healthy kind, and it's got some really good growth on it already, because sometimes you'll see a crop of plants come from a big box store, and they may not be as mature or developed, but you can clearly see that this plant right here has been at this big box store for a little while longer to produce new growth and just more fullness, I suppose, with the plant. This is definitely a value plant. This is definitely budget friendly, cost effective, because for every penny or dollar you're using, you know that you're getting a pretty established plant. This is a plant that not only was grown, but it has grown in its location, which is at this big box store. So for me, whenever anybody asks me, what do I look for in terms of plants? How do I select my plants whenever I'm going to a big box store? Well, number one, I like to look at the price or the value. And typically, now that I've done a lot of big box stores for more than a year and a half, I kind of know what the market price should be for the plant. And then once I identify that it's a pretty good deal for the plant, I then look at the new growth points. If a plant is actively growing, as in you're seeing new leaves almost unfurling, and I also look for just how many plants are in a pot, that's a good sign to move forward with the selection of the plant. Then I look for signs of plant pests. So if you see any webbing, any type of white cottony things, that could be signs of spider mites or mealybugs. Does that mean that the nursery had plant pests? Not necessarily, but when you think about these plants and how they are exposed to different people, different environments, the travel from the nursery all the way to the big box stores, it does put the plant under a lot of stress. And just like human beings, where if we are stressed, stress can kill actually, our immune systems are not necessarily at the top notch where we can fight off illnesses. It's the same thing with plants. When plants are stressed or in not the best health, they kind of release a pheromone where they're a little bit more susceptible to plant pests. So I am going on a little bit of a tangent, but as you can see right here, plant foldies. I mean, let's look at all these Costa Farms plants. That's another way of me selecting plants, is making sure it's pest free. And then overall, I just select plants because they either fit the aesthetic I want, or there is something about the plant that is calling my name. Does that mean we're going to always pick up the plant like this Monstera albo, right? Or Sedaliana albo? Not necessarily. But if you are looking to select plants, I think those are really the signs that I would suggest, is just making sure you're a little bit more diligent about the plant pricing, the growth of the plant, and then just checking to see if the plant is pest free. Any plant that you buy at a big box store, if you're going to introduce it indoors, definitely spray it down with a pest preventative spray like neem oil spray. I would definitely recommend We the Wild neem oil spray. It is a Houston-based company that has really gotten a lot of traction just because We the Wild was actually sold at big box store Target. So, you know, those are the plant products I would suggest, but you can see right here, Monstera letriana. So this was for $19.98. And I remember seeing Monstera letriana released, and I actually had to go to like a Walmart and look at the post by Costa Farms Instagram to show us where these were released. But you can see right here, this is another Costa Farms trending tropical plant that you typically wouldn't see out and about. So this is what makes this Lowe's location very special. And again, if you're making a road trip to Dallas, if you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, highly recommend going here, because every plant I'm picking up has a lot of new growth. Like this is a philodendron painted lady for $19.98. Costa Farms trending tropical plant. My opinion about philodendron painted lady is it is beautiful. I love the red stems and petioles. I love the yellow variegation. The only thing is, it is one of the philodendron that can easily revert to green. Anything that is like aurea, yellowish, neon colored, you have to have quite a bit of bright indirect light, almost highlight at all times, in order for the plant to really remain that color. Otherwise, it will revert. I actually had a philodendron golden violin, which is another Costa Farms trending tropical plant I haven't seen lately in the market. The last time I saw it was last year. I didn't give it enough light and it kind of reverted back to green. So what I did is I actually chopped it all the way back, propagate, you know, the cuttings in water, and then I'm currently growing the chopped up philodendron golden violin outdoors in my outdoor patio. A lot of my plants are actually growing outdoors right now. I find that it's easy to just take a hose and spray them down and water them. I find that growing indoor tropical plants, hence the keyword indoor, growing them outdoors, in a hotter, humid environment makes it so much easier. I don't have to really worry about plant pests, fungus gnats, any of that nature, because growing these plants outdoors, there are natural predators that get rid of the plant pest, and it's just easier to water. Champs Ulysses pothos plant. Look at this, Costa Farms trending tropical plant. It is a collector's plant for $19.98. The origin of a Champs Ulysses pothos, you'll see that it's got like a neon pothos look, which is my favorite pothos, by the way, but it has like some of that texture on the leaves. This is originally a Japanese pothos, originally from, I believe, Teruno Nursery or Teruno World Series of pothos plants. That's quite interesting. And then you can see right here, Philodendron Golden Crocodile, $19.98. This is an example of a more juvenile form. This one probably just made it to the big box store, but when you compare it to the other Philodendron Golden Crocodiles that have been growing there, you can see that they have pushed out a lot of new growth. Now, I am so excited to see this. And, you know, bear with me because I'm just really happy to finally see another Aglaonema pink Siam. $19.98. For those that are new to the channel, and I have to always assume that somebody might be new and may not know all the nuances of the plant foldies, just know that if you are new to my YouTube channel, I am obsessed. I am addicted to Aglaonemas. I love Aglaonemas, and even though I have another Aglaonema pink Siam, I am going to go ahead and buy this one today. Why not, right? Like, you live once, YOLO, whatever it is. Just kidding. I do want to buy this plant, not because I am going to do an impulse buy. It's just that certain plants, I talk about this, right? Certain plants, when you know you love them and you know they're easier to care for, it's one of those things where you don't mind having multiples of. In Aglaonema, I don't mind having a dozen Aglaonema pink Siams. It is absolutely stunning. You see the pink borders of the leaves, the white stems. Aglaonema are plants, and I repeat myself, Aglaonema are plants that may not necessarily be trending. You know, whenever I go to these big box stores, a lot of times people overlook such a beautiful plant and will go for a Monstera or some type of variegated philodendron, but Aglaonemas are colorful. Aglaonemas are easy to care for in a sense that the watering, they're a little bit more forgiving. You actually want to water an Aglaonema when the soil is completely dry. They can tolerate lower light conditions. Does that mean that they're going to thrive? No. Now, for the colorful Aglaonema, like this is Aglaonema pink Siam, you need to try to give it the ample best lighting conditions, which is bright indirect light. I plan to buy that Aglaonema pink Siam because I want to go repot it in a slightly bigger pot and grow it outdoors and really see if I can get it to push out little baby pups. Aglaonema red Siam, this one is only for $15.98. This is the one that's commonly found. And again, this is another example where I wasn't necessarily planning on buying an Aglaonema red Siam, but this one has quite a bit of growth. It's got a good size and it's got lots of little baby pups. So I'm going to buy this one, and I'm probably going to buy that Aglaonema pink Siam. I'm deciding on whether I would separate some of the baby pups and propagate it or just leave it to where it's a little bit more full of a plant. We'll see what that all looks like, but my question is, do you prefer the Aglaonema red Siam or do you like the Aglaonema pink Siam? Please, 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 if you are listening and watching my videos and are truly engaged, take the time to leave in the comment section which one would you pick, the Aglaonema pink Siam or the Aglaonema red Siam. For me, I love both. I would say the Aglaonema pink Siam is definitely a little bit more uncommon, but as far as easy care, Aglaonema red Siam. If you don't have one today, can you please plant foldies? Go to a big box store, go take a travel road trip to this Lowe's location and buy one, because there's quite a bit of Aglaonema red Siam and pink Siams to choose from. So if Costa Farms is watching this YouTube video or gets a hold of this, my only feedback is, can we please get another release of colorful Aglaonema into the market? I know that you guys have communicated, or at least Costa Farms has communicated, that it does take a little while for Aglaonema to be in full production because of the slow growth patterns, but I'm hoping that they're able to have masses and masses of Aglaonemas, because in my opinion, plants and trends become trends because people are talking about it. People are posting on it on social media. It made it to TikTok. Somebody on Instagram, a huge plant content creator, is really pushing it. I would not say that I'm a huge plant influencer. What I would say is we have a very strong plant foldy community. And, as we continue to share our love for Aglaonema, for instance, is Aglaonema spathonema, $19.98. It's such a beautiful Aglaonema that we don't often see at a big box store, but it's at this Lowe's location. We can most likely get more people at least giving these plants a chance to add into their plant collection. Aglaonemas are Chinese evergreens. These are plants that a lot of people wouldn't really look at just because I think the monetary value for these plants are not necessarily high. Although I would say if you're going to try to buy some of the more uncommon ones from overseas, some Aglaonema, for instance, my biggest wish list Aglaonema is the Aglaonema Crown of Siam. Please do an online search and you will see how expensive and how beautiful that Aglaonema is. There is some monetary value for a lot of these Aglaonema as well. So I just wanted to put that out there and just let you guys know that that's something that I hope we will consider getting in the near future. So you can see right here, Shangri-La Pothos, another Japanese pothos by the Teruno World Series that Costa Farms now has in the masses, $19.98. So lots of trending tropical plants. If you made it this far into the video, plant foldies as well, and you have not pressed the thumbs up or like button for this video, can you pause the video and press the thumbs up video for this video, because it does help push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And I really do think that this video needs to be floating around for those that really love going big box or plant shopping, because then it will inspire you to see what kind of Costa Farms plants are available. I want to eventually try to do a collab with Costa Farms with some of their trending tropical plants, because they just absolutely have so many varieties, and it's so exciting that they continue to release these plants. Like the Burley Marks Flame, that was a huge hit for a lot of people, and I'm just glad that you can find it at a big box, or who knows, we might find one at this Lowe's location. But as you can see right over here, we do have two different kinds of three different types of Costa Farms plants. We have the exotic angel plants, the smaller potted up ones. We have the self-watering planters in 6-inch planters, $15.98. And then we also have the trending tropical plants for $19.98. We also have Costa Farms plants that are in 10-inch planters, ranging from $22.98, and even jumbo ones that we'll see later on in this video. But let me go ahead and just keep walking around and showing you some more of these Costa Farms plants. this is a plant I can't really pronounce. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna call it the silver inducan. This is a new trending tropicals plant by Costa Farms, $19.98. This one particularly needs a little bit of water, but look at how beautiful and metallic the silver leaves are. It does kind of remind me of an aglaonema, and if I find one that it's not as dehydrated, I'm definitely gonna buy one today, because why not, right? Plant foldies, this is what you need in your plant collection. This is where we all need to be shopping for these Costa Farms plants. I mean, look at this new release right here. Let me know if you like silver foliage plants, and we're just going to continue to walk around, and I'm just going to show you a lot of these plants. I know I can be very talkative, and a lot of it has to do with me being very passionate and excited to talk about plant insights, plant pricing, but the point of this video today is to really showcase some of the best that Costa Farms can offer in terms of collector houseplants, beginner houseplants for the general public, houseplants that will make people happy, and it really does enhance all of our, well-being in terms of our physical and mental health. If you have been watching a lot of my videos, I have been talking a lot about my grandmother, who is 90 years old, and she attributes a lot of her health through just growing plants. So, with Costa Farms, they're definitely helping us with our plant love, because they have plants like this philodendron white knight, and look at how massive the leaves are. This one is for $19.98. An example of a Syndapsis platinum java. It's a trending tropicals Costa Farms plant, but you can see that it really needs to be watered. Once it's watered, it's going to perk back up. It's got some beautiful foliage, and then right over here we've got a lemon meringue pothos. Now this one is a mutation that Costa Farms discovered, and they had the variegation stabilized to the point where they can actually give us something a little bit different in terms of pothos plants. So over here, we are now looking at some of the large foliage plants. I'm just going to go pan around here. Ficus elastica tiniki, and then we've also got some large foliage Dracaena and then Dieffenbachia. So these ones are for $19.98. Ficus elastica tiniki, that's one I would recommend growing in very high light. I would actually grow it outdoors in full sun. That's what I've been doing with my Ficus elastica or rubber tree plants, and they are living their best life. You can see we've got some Ficus lyrata over here. We've got a Dracaena limelight. I love Dracaenas. They're very easy to care for plants, and they can get into a pretty large size as well. Now, to maintain that yellowish color, you do need to provide it more bright indirect light. And then we've got another Dracaena right over here. This is for $22.98, but I believe Lowe's right now is still having a sale where if it's $22.98, you can buy it by using the Lowe's My Rewards app, where you can get it for $14.98. So we've got some Lowe's deals going on. I'm just going to go pan around here and show you some more of these large plants by Costa Farms. Here's a plant that I would have totally bought on impulse. This is a Dieffenbachia crocodile, and you can see that it has a very similar leaf shape as an Aglaonema. The only difference is Dieffenbachia cannot really tolerate lower light conditions. They need to be more consistently watered. When you're growing them indoors, they tend to be a little bit more spider mite prone, but I love the fact that this Dieffenbachia crocodile is a pretty large size, and you can see that it's also shooting little baby pups similar to Aglaonema, and these are for $22.98. Dieffenbachia crocodile used to be quite expensive, and now they have large versions of these that you can buy at a big box store like Lowe. So like I said again, Costa Farms is really bringing in the summer heat in terms of what plants are readily available. I do believe it makes things a lot more exciting for any of our plant lovers, plant collectors. I just think that the Dieffenbachia crocodile would be one that I would recommend adding into your plant collection. And as I pan around here, I mean, take a look at this. Costa Farms is where it's at. You can see we've got some massive Ficus elastica tanikis, and then some more of these large foliage plants that I'm just gonna walk around and show you. Talk about a jumbo Aglaonema. This is an Aglaonema Silver Bay. Look at how massive this is, plant foldies. What do you think about this Aglaonema Silver Bay for $49.98? I believe that's it. $49.98. You get a massive Aglaonema Silver Bay. I would totally buy this, but I just really don't have the space to have such a massive plant. But that is so cost effective and budget friendly for such a big plant. It's an easy to care for plant. It's a plant that if you have a lower light setting in your space, you can add the Aglaonema Silver Bay and it will do very well for you because it can tolerate the lower light conditions. Now over here we got a Philodendron Pink Princess, $15.98. This used to be a trending tropicals Costa Farms plant for $19.98, but it now has a lower, better, budget-friendly price that you can save money on if you want a Philodendron Pink Princess. Philodendron Pink Princess is quite easy to take care of as well. You do need to give it some type of moss pole or some type of pole to support it because it likes to grow up. In terms of lighting conditions, bright indirect light. Now in terms of variegation, oftentimes Philodendron Pink Princess's variegation is more so reliant on its initial genetics. So if you select one that doesn't have high variegation, chances are it's probably not going to push a lot of variegation. And the thing about Philodendron Pink Princess is there's several strands of them. They've got like a Philodendron Pink Princess Galaxy, which has a lot of speckling, almost like the Monstera constellation. So it just depends on what you're looking for in a Philodendron Pink Princess, but Costa Farms has it available, and we have some more large plants to take a look at right over here. Dracaena Limelight, $22.98. On sale right now. This houseplant is on sale for $14.98. Plant foldies watching so far, would you buy any of these large foliage plants? Leave in the comment section below. I really do like knowing what your insights are, your commentary. Let's keep it positive though. However, as you know, in terms of social media, I do, want to make sure that we are mindful of our social media presence. There is a way to provide constructive feedback, but also ways to not be very toxic online. I am a big advocate when it comes to social media presence and social media etiquette. Some people do believe that they can just get on social media behind a screen name and just say whatever they want to say in a negative way. That isn't necessarily tolerated on this YouTube channel. So if this isn't necessarily your niche or your content that you want to watch, I always just say don't engage and just find something else to engage with. It's funny because I'm going on a slight tangent as we look at all of these beautiful Costa Farms plants, and it kind of ties into Costa Farms. Again, there has been some, little controversies. I don't want to basically diminish any of the concerns that some people may have brought with a certain video. But like I said, again, we are okay to disagree or have various opinions, but to flat out just criticize somebody for one, loving these Costa Farms plants and saying that, you know, for somebody that wants to support a big box store plant, that we take away from small businesses or local businesses. That's not necessarily the case, because I always tell people you are able to shop wherever you want to shop, whether you want to support a small business, a big box store, nurseries such as Costa Farms, Live Trends Designs, Urban Jungle, Vigoro Plants, Nature's Way. I always say diversify where you buy your plants. You don't necessarily have to fit into a specific niche, but sometimes when people accuse people of saying, well, if you're supporting big businesses, big box stores, then you're taking away from small businesses. This is my own personal opinion. I don't necessarily think that of the case, because if you've watched my videos, I am a huge supporter of local and small businesses. You will see me make content and really support folks that have small businesses, but at the same time, to flip it on the other side of the coin, not everybody lives out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area where we can see beautiful big box store so like this, like Lowe's, that provides budget-friendly, cost-effective plants. And so for me, you know, it's one of those situations where if you live in an area where you don't have a small business or you don't have a local nurseries and you are only around a Lowe's, a Home Depot, or a Walmart, don't feel ashamed if you are buying big box store plants. There is a reason why we have big box store plants and how they're readily available. And when you think about how plants bring people joy, I say rather than to, you know, sling mud shots at people for where they buy their plants, let's just celebrate the fact that there are plants that are available for everybody, whether it's a big box store or a local or small business. I mean, I'm just when I say I'm super surprised and super excited to see all of these Costa Farms plants. I mean, take a look at this purple colored flame violet. I have yet to see this selection, and this one is only for $16.98. And when I say in terms of Costa Farms, I feel like the best is yet to come with Costa Farms, because they are always surprising us with new plant releases. And, you know, I would just love to be able to see like a brick and mortar Costa Farms location where they literally have every single hanging basket that they have to offer, every single Hydra Helix, or what you call the Hedera Helix, the correct way to say English ivy, or all of the different types of Costa Farms trending tropicals plants. That would be super cool to visit. Just because a lot of their plants, especially when Costa Farms is able to send a huge selection of plants at such budget-friendly prices at Lowe's, it just makes big box or plant shopping more exciting, or in general, just big shopping for plants more exciting. And, you know, for those that have tuned into this video and have stayed engaged to this video, I really appreciate you just, number one, accepting me for my most authentic self. You already know I just love to talk to you guys. And then number two, just engaging and hanging out with me as I pick up these plants, as I show you what selections they have. Hopefully you are learning something about plant care tips, or even just plant shopping tips in terms of how to save money. I will say, if you are going to shop at Lowe's, definitely download the Lowe's app celebrating phone, because all of these big box stores, what we can learn from each other. So always leave some comments about plant care tips. I mean, you can see right here, this is a Hoya Bertollier. This one is a little bit sun stressed. A lot of some of the leaves have a little bit of a purplish reddish tone around it, and that's when the plant has received a little bit more light than it's unnecessarily needing. And you can see right here, this is basically a greenhouse, and this is the reason why a lot of these plants
and you can see right here, Monstera Thai Constellation,
because it's got higher humidity and they're getting a lot of filtered bright light. You can see right here, Monstera Thai Constellation by Costa Farms for $29.98 in a self-watering planter. And, you know, rumor has it Costa Farms has some massive jumbo Monstera Thai Constellations for $150. We'll see if we'll run into one of those today, but all I can say is stay tuned to the very end of the video so you can see my plant haul. And I did also want to say, as I continue to pick up these plants, if you are somebody that loves my YouTube channel and likes watching my videos, I haven't been as consistent about getting these big box store plant shopping videos on a daily basis. I do apologize about that. Work has has been super just stressful and very busy, and then also just trying to live life and really taking some time to myself where I'm not necessarily spending hours and hours filming, editing, and whatnot. I want to make sure that I do have time for some of my friends and family and just having time to myself. So for the plant foldies that appreciate some of the time that I take for myself, thank you for understanding. But with that being said, I ask our plant foldy community to check out some of my playlists on my YouTube channel. Definitely team replay or rewatch some of my videos. You might find something that you didn't discover when you first watched the video, and I would love to see you guys hashtag team replay and leave some comments. Let me know that you're watching some of my older video content, because that just helps with my watch time, but also that's just to keep you guys engaged. Hopefully you guys don't give up on me if I'm not able to give you guys a big box or plant shopping video within a day or two. Like I said, again, life happens, but today I really wanted to spend a little bit more time editing this video, so you'll see that there are more plant IDs being flashed on the screen. I remember when I used to have a little bit more time to do that. Sometimes I'm able to do it, sometimes I'm not. But I know that some people really appreciate the plant IDs being flashed. I mean, you can see right here, Dieffenbachia crocodile. It is really tempting me. Like, I would have bought this Dieffenbachia crocodile for $14.98 because it does have like multiple shoots or multiple plants that are already popping up that you can separate from the mother plant. This is such a beautiful plant in a sense that it has like white speckling on the leaves, like stark white speckling, and then just a green on green variegation, and then also the stem and petiole interest, how it's got speckles on that as well. What a pretty plant. It reminds me of an Aglaonema. I just would say that it does have a little bit more of a challenging plant care in terms of when you compare it to Aglaonema. But yeah, Costa Farms. Let's just keep looking at some of these plants. I'm just gonna walk around and pan around some of these plants. Feel free to leave in the comment section what you think about Costa Farms plants, what Costa Farms plants you may have bought, what you're looking for, what is your wish list. And again, definitely check out costafarms.com. You can get plants shipped from them directly. It will be a little bit more costly though as compared to going into a big box store. But if you don't have a big box store that's available, but you still want to get Costa Farms plants, I would definitely shop with them online at costafarms.com. We have an Aglaonema red Siam. Let's take a moment to look at how beautiful this Aglaonema red Siam is. Look at that, $15.98. This is one of the Lowe's locations that has a crop of Aglaonema from Costa Farms. I say this in every single video, and I promise you I will continue to talk about it in my future videos. But if you do not have an Aglaonema red Siam, buy one, try it out, see what you think. It's one of my favorite plants. And let's take a look at this Palmer Palm. This one, a Parlor Palm, this is only for $15.98, but this is the biggest Parlor Palm in a 6-inch self-watering planter by Costa Farms that I've seen. So you can see that this plant is thriving in this greenhouse at Lowe's. Who would have thought a big box store would have like a full-blown greenhouse? I definitely didn't imagine it. And you could just see how it has such positive effects on these house plants that you can purchase at a big box store. And so again, Costa Farms is bringing it. Costa Farms has so many plants to release for all of us, and hopefully you have been able to get some of your wish list plants, some of your rare variegated plants, or just plants that get your journey started with houseplants. That is a lot of the reason why I do big box or plant shopping videos, or just plant content in general. I think creating a space where everybody is welcome, where everybody can just celebrate plants or even their daily lives, it has just made it so fun to interact with you guys. And so if you are new to the channel, definitely try to get on a live premiere chat. The way you would enter it is either through using the YouTube app or on the computer. You can just make sure to join the live chat. Please say hello. We always love chatting with anybody and everybody, as long as you are conducting yourself in a kind and positive manner, because I haven't gone on a full tangent, but I will give you this message today for anybody watching my shopping today is kindness is free. Please remember that kindness is what will make the world even better, in a sense that you don't need to really focus on any negative thoughts. Try to bring and uplift people. Try to encourage people, because when you encourage people and you show that kind of kindness, that is going to come back to you tenfold. And I truly believe that some of the kindness that I've received from a lot of the plant foldies, it really means a lot to me. And especially when plant foldies take the time to say hello to my grandmother, who is 90 years old. She is even more healthy and vigorous through just some of the comments and some of these super stickers and plant gifts you guys have given my grandmother. I did want to just take the time right now to thank you guys. And I hope that as we continue to watch some of my videos, that kindness is on the top of our radar. And I hope that you guys can even share random acts of kindness in the comment section, because with Costa Farms, they have been super kind in the fact that they have made it so readily available to find so many different plants at such cost-effective, budget-friendly prices. I mean, you can see right here, staghorn fern in a hanging basket for $20.98. So I'm just going to continue to walk around and show you some more of these Costa Farms plants. Like I told you before at the very beginning of the video, this is one of the best big box stores, Lowe's locations I've ever been into in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And if you've been following me for quite a while, you already know that I just go through so many big box stores on a daily basis and try to get you guys that best plant content. But this one for sure takes the cake when it comes to just how many Costa Farms plants are available. got some more Aglaonema red cyams right over here for $15.98. Can you tell that I'm intentionally trying to plant influence you into getting an Aglaonema red cyam? Look at how pretty the stems are, and even just the borders of the leaves with the reddish pinkish tone on it. Super easy to care for plant. Let's go ahead and buy up all the Costa Farms Aglaonema red cyams. Feel free to leave in the comment section plant foldies if you've actually owned an Aglaonema red cyam or will be buying one, because this is the official plant mascot of my YouTube channel. I just hope that everybody gets into Aglaonemas, because this one is quite easy and easy to propagate and share. And then also for those that are curious on how you can support a content creator, there are two ways. I did want to put out this again. If you haven't already, please consider joining my YouTube membership tier. It definitely would support the longevity and sustainability of this channel. Just press the join button if you're watching this on a computer, or you can look into the comment section. I will have a pinned comment with a direct link to join my YouTube membership tier, which is called the Super Plant Foldies. You will have access to member only videos, early access to some of my bigger videos that I will release. I will also have emojis, custom emojis, where you can use like my little chicken emojis of my baby chicken, Charlotte and Catriona, in the comments section. And your comments are always going to be highlighted to show that you are a Super Plant Foldie. I did want to shout out David again for always gifting 5 Plant Foldie, Super Plant Foldie memberships. So that's another way, is you can just gift people YouTube memberships for a month, so you can try it out and see if you like it. And we also have what you call a super sticker or super thanks, which is a monetary tip that you can provide to a YouTube content creator like myself. Just know, for those that have given me super stickers in the past, and for those that are going to give me super stickers, know that I appreciate it, and it really does help fund some of the costs to create these videos, whether it's the gas that I use for traveling all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area, some of my equipment, and even just funding a little bit of my plant budget as well. So I wanted to put out there just on the financing part of this YouTube channel. You already know I don't like to beat around the bush or not be transparent, but I did want to put it out there for those that were curious on how you can support this channel. But overall, just watching this video throughout the entirety of it and pressing the thumbs up or like button is the biggest way to support my YouTube channel. And again, as I always say throughout all my videos, all day, every day, thank you, Plant Foldies. Thank you for enjoying the videos, engaging with me, giving the time of day to support my efforts to show you big box store plant shopping videos like this. I mean, Costa Farms, it goes without to show that they really do provide a lot of selection of plants. They even have these Hoyas, and I wanted to spin around here because this isn't a fixture you often see. These are tiny plants by Costa Farms, so 3 for $9.99. You can get little tiny starter plants like this, pearls and jade pothos. I remember finding this at a Lowe's location in Frisco, Texas, but I did not think I would see another tiny plants location like this. So I absolutely love it, and curious to see if anybody has bought Costa Farms tiny plants. If you buy a single one, it's for $3.33, but it's 3 for $9.99, which I do find a pretty good value, especially if you're just looking for starter plants. Now we are just looking at some of the Costa Farms exotic angel selection. So we're just going to pick up a lot of these. These are typically either $5.98 or $8.98 depending on the size. The 3-inch planters are $5.98, and then the 5-inch planters are going to be $8.98. You can see this Rex begonia is 50% off because it does have that little clearance a mark on it. So if you're looking for value added plants, sometimes you can find clearance plants that are not really out of shape. Sometimes they are just doing it to move some of the inventory. And let's just continue to look at some of these Costa Farms exotic angel plants. Feel free to leave in the comment section which ones you like, and you'll see that there's quite a bit of growth. I mean, look at this purple waffle plant, for instance. You can see that it's been living its best life at this Lowe's location. And Foldies, would you agree that this Lowe's location has some of the biggest selection of Costa Farms plants? I mean, take a look at this Hedera Helix. This one is a Hedera Helix Gold Baby Ivy. I love it. And there's just so many plants to pick from. If I actually had a pretty good budget, I would have bought so many plants today, but I am going to show you at the very end of this video what plants I ended up buying. Just know that I love the new releases of Costa Farms. I love some of the Costa Farms plants that they have released in the past, the Costa Farms classics, and just having all of these plants readily available for the general masses. Again, it just gets people excited about plants, and I think that that is a beautiful thing when you can get people who may not have necessarily been growing plants for a while be introduced to growing plants, because there's a huge selection, budget-friendly plants that Costa Farms continues to churn out for the masses. So as I start to wrap up this video in terms of just the plant selection, if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, definitely check out this Lowe's location. It is definitely worth your while, and you will see some surprises. And when you come over here, I noticed that they do get quite a bit of plant restocks, and I even love the merchandising that they have. So I'm going to finish off a couple of these trending tropical plants. So you can see on this end right here, we've got an Aglaonema spathonema. This is a very uncommon type of Aglaonema. It's a little bit different than the average Aglaonema. I do love the green on green variegation. It almost reminds me of like a Philodendron heteroraceum type plant, but it's more upright, obviously, and it is one that's fairly fast at growing. We've got some more Epipremnum pinnatum albo. So this one is for $19.98, and you need to just grow this on a totem pole or moss pole, because when you do it, it's going to get larger leaves, it's going to climb, and it's going to have beautiful fenestrations. Same thing with this Epipremnum aureum Shangri-La pothos, $19.98. So trending tropical plants, they're definitely trending in a sense that you can find them at cost-effective plant pricing. This one is an Alocasia regineae. I love the leathery textured leaves of that Alocasia, and we've got a bunch of Monstera adansonii right over here for $19.98. And as I pan around here, again, if you haven't made it, if you've made it this far into the video, first of all, thank you, but don't forget to press the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. But take a look at the beauty of this Costa Farms selection, and this is my plant haul. So I ended up getting a trending tropicals Costa Farm plant, the silver inducan. We've got an Aglaonema red siam in the middle, and then we also have an Aglaonema pink siam. I felt like, since I've had a couple of rough days, that I was going to treat myself. I wasn't even gonna flinch on spending a little bit of money buying plants, because like I said, again, plants bring me joy. And honestly, this Aglaonema, or I say Aglaonema, this is a silver induc, kind of looks like an Aglaonema. I love it. I love the colors, and I do intend to grow all of these 3 plants. I'm going to repot them and grow them in a shaded area outdoors to see how much growth I can get throughout the summer and early fall, and then eventually overwinter them. I just found that growing indoor tropical plants outdoors is a lot easier than growing them indoors, in a sense that the watering isn't as hard. You just take a hose and spray them down. Pest control, you have natural pest predators that get rid of the pest, and they just love that fresh air, that natural sunlight. I don't know if you guys agree, but what I will say is I'm pretty sure the majority of you guys will agree that today's big box store plant shopping video at featuring Costa Farms plants, whether it's trending tropicals or exotic angel house plants, this was one of the biggest selections I've run into. Stay tuned to part 2, because this is not the end of it, because there's even a bigger surprise you will see on the next video. I do a live premiere. Again, to those that have tuned in today, definitely check out costafarms.com. You can do your shopping if you're not able to go to a big box store like Lowe's to get these beautiful Costa Farms plants, but you can see this is my plant haul. This is my shopping haul. I do think that I paid a pretty good amount in terms of the value of these plants. I don't think I overpaid. I think the price was right today. Please leave in the comment section, Plant Foldy, some of the plants that you enjoyed seeing today, what your insights are, what your commentary is, what you think about Costa Farms, and if you actually have Costa Farms plants, because there are just so many to pick from. And I'm really curious to see what other Costa Farms plants are going to be readily available in the months to come. come. I'm hoping, and I always mention this to anybody that is watching from Costa Farms, I'm open to doing a collab, an unboxing, whatever you want to send me if you're able to, or even just getting some feedback about the Aglaonemas. Hopefully you guys are going to release more, because Costa Farms is leading in terms of just how many houseplants they continue to churn out at these big box stores. I would say the majority of people who get into plants have probably bought a big box store plant to start their plant journey, or somebody gifted a plant. Again, as always, if you haven't already, please consider joining my YouTube membership tier. I do have some more membership only videos coming up soon. And as always, my name is Richie at Growfolds. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Growfolds, and today will be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's off of White Rock, Dallas, Texas. As always, please make sure you are pressing that thumbs up or like button for this video, as well as give me a follow on Instagram. My handle is at Growfolds. If you have any questions about the plants or just want to contact me directly, that is the fastest and most direct way to do so. Today is a beautiful cloudy afternoon. I went ahead and went to Dallas, Texas to go explore this Lowe's location. I've been going further into the actual downtown Dallas. This one is actually pretty close to Peta's Planters, my favorite plant shop in Dallas. But you know, I haven't done a big box store plant shopping video in a while, so we're going to go explore that. But before we do that, I did want to announce that my YouTube membership tier, the Super Plant Foldies, now has the official music soundtracks getting uploaded. The first upload was Charlotte, which is dedicated to my Bard Rock hen. So definitely check that out. Definitely join my YouTube membership tier. It is only for $2.99. And if you're ever going big box store plant shopping, definitely download Lowe's app. Lowe's has deals that are available. For instance, these are Costa Farms trending tropical plants in self-watering planters. This one is a beautiful silver Inducan for originally $19.98, but it is on sale. Lowe's deals for only $14.98. So all of these 6-inch trending tropical plants are on sale for $14.98 if you have the Lowe's app, My Lowe's Rewards loyalty program app. I love looking at that fixture where they have trending tropical plants by Costa Farms. Most of these Lowe's will have some type of arrangement like this, where they'll have hanging baskets, self-watering planters, trending tropical plants. I mean, let's take a look at this. $14.98. It is on sale. This is another Monstera Stadliana, also known as the Monstera Cobra, $14.98. So I'm really liking the fact that they have these trending tropical plants by Costa Farms on sale. We've got an Epipremnum aureum, golden pothos. This one is for $15.98. That is the 6-inch self-watering planter standards that Costa Farms has. But as far as Lowe's deals, My Lowe's Rewards, you definitely need to make sure that if you're going to be shopping at Lowe's, you download the Lowe's app on your phone so you can save some money. So we're going to go ahead and walk through here. And even my first impressions being in a Lowe's location in the heart of Dallas, Texas. So these are the Dallas, Texas Lowe's locations. Typically, whenever I do big box store plant shopping, I usually go to Lowe's locations out in the suburbs, whether it's Frisco, Plano, Allen, McKinney, Prosper. Now we're going actually in the heart of Dallas. So this is downtown Dallas. This is in the White Rock area, and you'll see that this is super full. I love the fact that these plants are organized, but not only organized, they are actually merchandised and organized in a way where they're going to be very inspiring to pick up, like this silver indukan for $14.98. Again, it is on sale. I love the fact that they merchandise these plants by the type of plant. I love the colors. I mean, take a look at this Calathea rospicta. Now, this one is a standard self-watering planter by Costa Farms. This one is for $15.98. And you know, care tips for Calatheas, you want to make sure that you are giving them a little bit higher humidity levels. If you're able to water them with purified or distilled water, that is best. And they do not like to stay dry for too long. You want to make sure you keep the soil moist. If you group them with other plants to increase the humidity, they prefer that as well. And then over here, we've got an Epipermum alplissimum, or what you call the silver streak pothos. This one is labeled as golden pothos, but this is the silver streak pothos. I love the narrow leaf, but also the metallic silver shine it has. And then plant foldies, we're going to go ahead and walk around over here. I do miss going big box store plant shopping. You know, last week I celebrated my birthday. I had a lot of fun. I treated myself to plants. In about 16 days, I will be going to PlantCon 2025 in New York City. It has been forever since I've been to New York City. I think it's been more than, I would say, 18 years. And so I'm really excited to be going there. It is going to be a quick turnaround trip. But for those that want to see some amazing PlantCon footage from New York City, definitely make sure you have already pressed the subscribe button with all the notification bell on. I will have hours of content, and you know, Cultivation Corner will be there as well. Janae Simone and Steven of I Live Plants, my co-host for that plant podcast that some of you guys may have forgotten, but I promise you guys, we are just delaying season 3. Our schedules haven't really lined up, but we are hoping to get that started and start filming those episodes. So for those that haven't, definitely do a search on YouTube called Cultivation Corner. Definitely binge watch season 1 and 2. Let me know how that goes. But in terms of the plants, again, plant foldies, I'm just gonna walk around here and we're gonna go show you some more of these plants. But before we get into that, I do want to go outside since it is slightly drizzling. It was a little bit rainy when I got there, so it's not super hot. And we're gonna take a look at some of the plants that are outdoors. You already know I like indoor tropical plants, but I also love outdoor plants. So we are now at the Lowe's Garden Center, the outdoor garden center, and you see they have a couple of Costa Farms 6-inch hanging baskets. This one is a beautiful Epipermum pinnatum Cebu Blue pothos. This one is in a 6-inch planter for only $16.98. Right next to it is we have a beautiful Fittonia, but we also have a lipstick pagoda plant. You know, lipstick plants remind me somewhat similar to Hoyas. I really like the patterns on this leaf. They behave similar to Hoyas. I don't own a lipstick plant, but that would be another plant that I would say is durable, just like a Hoya. Petunias, I love the pink veining. Unfortunately, even though this is only for $16.98, I don't think I could grow this in my houseplant collection long term because it does require a lot of water. And you know, that's the thing, plant foldies, we talk about plant care tips. You really have to assess how much time you have available for your plants. I would say if you are somebody that is always on the go like me, where I am really trying my best to create meaningful plant content on YouTube on a daily basis, plus I'm having a very demanding career where I'm working a minimum of 10 hours. I am salaried, so sometimes if the work's not done, I'm gonna have to put in a little bit more time. That means you're going to have to find plants that are either low light tolerant and drought tolerant, and that is really my definition of an easy care plant. Those two characteristics really make for a plant that can fit somebody's busy schedule. I mean, you can see here, Epipremnum aureum, or what you call pothos plants, are one of them. If on the left we're passing by a bunch of Dracaena mesangianas, or what you call cane Dracaenas, those are also easy to care for plants. Beautiful cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. That red maroon tone is beautiful, but that is another plant that is very much spider mite prone if you were to try to grow that indoors. So I would just say that one would need to be more of a patio plant. But you know, these pothos plants right here, these golden pothos, are only for $19.98 in an 8-inch hanging basket, and you can see that these are trailing. I really love trailing pothos. They make a very stylistic look. And all of my hanging baskets that are a bit more challenging to grow indoors, literally plant foldies, I have just taken all of my quote house plants that I was growing indoors, and they're literally jam-packed outdoors in my shaded patio area, and it is so much easier to take care of those plants. I mean, literally I have sprinklers that will sprinkle them with water automatically. I use a hose to hose them down, and they're a little bit more vigorous in their growth whenever you're growing indoor tropical plants. Outdoors in a shaded area, I would say definitely put them in an area where it gets that east facing morning sunlight and protection from the hot afternoon western sun, and you are good to go. Now we're gonna go ahead and walk around over here. We did see some succulent arrangements. Love that. Fall is around the corner, and if you go to big box stores like Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, Target, those major 4 big box stores to go shopping, you will see that they're already bringing out fall decor, whether it's Halloween, and also in terms of seasonality, croton plants. So this is a croton petra. You will see a lot of crotons popping up in the fall seasons, typically around August, September. Definitely by October, November, you will see so many different varieties of crotons. My thing about crotons, and this one is for $16.98, is crotons are really not a seasonal fall plant. And I say this because croton plants are actually native to Southeast Asia, the Caribbean. They need hot, and I say they need hot, humid environments. They thrive in full sun, and I would just say fall in the United States, we have shorter days, which means there's not as much light. It's definitely colder, and I would even say crotons absolutely hate cold weather. They start to drop their leaves. So it's just interesting how these plants are produced for a decoration purpose, which to me seems more wasteful, because at the end of the day, it does take a lot of time to produce these plants. You have to think about the amount of water, the amount of soil substrates, the amount of work it's placed to grow these plants that will only be grown for maybe a good 4 weeks, if that, because I don't really see a lot of people taking care of crotons past the fall season. You know, people will utilize that as a fall patio decorative plant, but really it is not conducive to our environments. And you know, plant foldies, I am a little bit chatty today just because I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys plant insights. I know that last week for my birthday celebration week, I was really highlighting a lot of local and small businesses, because I just feel like that is where my heart is, alongside with big box stores. And so I want to give you guys some commentary. $12.98, for instance. This is the Arabian jasmine in the Philippines, which is where my family is originally from. I am a proud Filipino American. This is actually the national flower of the Philippines. The Arabian jasmine, also known as sampaguita, which is what we say in Tagalog, the native language of the Philippines. You already know, plant foldies, I love to give you guys tidbits about my heritage. If you haven't already, I know that there's a couple of plant foldies that have actually watched some of my old school plant tourism videos. It is a playlist where I showcase my trip to the Philippines, and you will be amazed, like literally amazed, by all of the beautiful indoor tropical plants we growing outdoors in the Philippines, and they're just living their best life. Speaking of best life, I have to also highlight the fact that I love lantanas and also portulaca plants. These are also known as perennials, which basically grow year after year back depending on your grow zone. So my grow zone is 8B. You have to really do your research on your grow zones, because if you don't know, some plants might be a perennial, some plants might actually be an annual, which grows only as a one growing season. For instance, we're looking at all of these beautiful bougainvilleas. If I were to grow this beautiful variegated bougainvillea, this is the raspberry ice. This would only be considered an annual if I were to grow it in my landscape, because bougainvilleas cannot tolerate cold weather. You know, with North Dallas, we get ice, we get snow, and this plant is just not a deciduous plant. A deciduous plant is actually a plant that will lose its leaves and actually go dormant. This is actually an evergreen type plant where it will just grow pretty much throughout the whole growing season. And so in my grow zone, unfortunately, this beautiful, highly variegated bougainvillea, which actually requires full sun, will not be able to grow long term in my landscape. Now, if you were to try to grow this as a plant where you can overwinter them, basically growing them in a container and then taking them indoors, it does give the plant a lot of stress, where this plant may end up losing a lot of its foliage, and it's just kind of gonna be kind of stagnant. And that's what happens with a lot of plants that we overwinterize. Plant foliage, let me know in the comment section if you've actually attempted to grow some plants over the winter where you have snow and ice. How does that work for you? Please leave that in the comment section, because like I said, I'm hearing from the plant foldy community, and you know, the ones that actually join the live premiere chats, which are typically scheduled at 7 p.m. Central Standard USA time. I appreciate you. Let's keep chatting. Let's engage with each other. Let's interact, because that's what makes this community fun. So I'm just going to keep showing you some of these beautiful bougainvilleas. Let me know what you think. And if you're currently growing bougainvillea, what are your plant care tips? You can just see the beautiful bougainvillea forest that they have at this Lowe's location. And that's the thing about just going to big box stores. I think the selection of plants, the cost effectiveness of their plants, and just being able to walk around and really practice mindfulness, that's something that is free. So you don't necessarily have to go to a big box store and spend all your money. Oftentimes, or at least recently, I've spent some money, but most often now, whenever I go, quote, big box store plant shopping, it's really just me window plant shopping and really looking at the plants and just enjoying all of the beautiful foliage. There is something to be said about just admiring foliage and just looking at plants. There is a calming effect, and I've really had to lean in and utilize that, just especially when life gets tough, when things get stressful, whenever you are battling either either anxiety or depression, I would say take yourself out there, move around, get you some vitamin D, get you some light, be out and about, and surround yourself with plants. You know, that's one of my positive messages that I try to insert in all of my videos, and hopefully that advice will resonate with somebody that might be struggling. I would even say that I've actually struggled just the weeks leading into my birthday, but I am in a better spot. I've been able to really create boundaries for myself where I don't necessarily feel like I have to push myself to create content. I know you guys have really shown me a lot of grace. I hate the fact that I want to try to make daily 1-hour plant shopping videos, but you know, things sometimes get in the way, and sometimes, to be quite transparent, I just want to rest and not do anything. So for those that understand and are still with me, I really appreciate you. And speaking of appreciating, take a look at these granite or these terracotta planters. Love this aesthetic. That is the look that I like. And then how about these Talvera planters that are made in Mexico? This one is for $39.98, but there is a very distinct look with these planters. And you know, as far as plant styling, I've talked about possibly doing more of that type of content. I just haven't had a chance to do so. You know, I really try to commit to certain things, but then sometimes things get in the way where you get redirected to do something else. But I do like the stylistic approach of some of the people that actually grow plants. I think the more curated approach is actually a more meaningful approach rather than going and plant hoarding. Admittedly, I would say that I'm literally hoarding Aglaonema. You know, for those that have guessed, I have more than 200 plus Aglaonema, and yes, I am going to be getting more Aglaonema from my friend Leaf Crafter on Instagram, and special thanks to artgarden.flowers on Instagram. My friend Riki and his staff will allow me to pick up those Aglaonema from overseas at PlantCon. So I mean, I just can't stop, you know, buying Aglaonema. I don't know if anybody else is in this boat where like you fall in love with a specific plant genus and you just can't stop yourself from buying a variety that you didn't have. I know that there are a couple of plant foldies out there that also deal with that, so feel free to leave in the comments and your insights about that. So we are now back in the indoor tropical section, and you can hear that this is a track that I used to play a lot on my big box or plant shopping videos. The track is by my friend DJ BangBeats. It's called You're on the Beat, and there's something to celebrate. I want you guys to dance around because look at how full this Lowe's location is. I would say that the downtown Dallas Lowe's locations that I've been to so far have been super full. I mean, you would expect that, right? Because there's a larger population. There are more people that congregate to these big box stores. And so I am just really pleasantly surprised that these Lowe's locations are looking super full with a wide selection of plants. You can see I'm picking up an Aglaonema Silver Bay. We're picking up a beautiful Anthurium. This one is for $14.98. This one is by Urban Jungle, and as I mentioned in a lot of my videos, Urban Jungle is one of those plant nurseries that provides at big box stores. They have such a nice fun style or aesthetic behind it. They're a little bit more boho. I mean, you can see right over here, Aglaonema Silver Bay. This one is also by Urban Jungle for $14.98. I have talked to, or at least given suggestions to Urban Jungle plants, Proven Winner plants, Live Trends Design plants, and of course Costa Farms plants about just starting an Aglaonema trend. I'm really curious to see which big box store nursery is going to really start an Aglaonema trend, because I just feel like that is one untapped plant genus that hasn't really made its popularity in the United States. If you were to look at some of the Aglaonema that I'm getting from overseas, you would just be thinking, why do we not have all of these colorful varieties? That kind of boggles my mind, but you know, that's the thing. Different aesthetics, different availability for plants. I know for a fact that anthuriums are basically the king of trending indoor tropical plants, but I would beg to say that as I pan around here and show you this selection of different types of Urban Jungle plants, Live Trends Design plants, and Costa Farms plants, Aglaonema need to be added to that list. This one right here, look at how stunning. $14.98. This is on sale. This houseplant is on sale for $14.98. This is a beautiful philodendron golden crocodile. I mean, just look at how beautiful the neon yellowish greenish leaves are. And you can see right here, we've got a cool phalaenopsis orchid. I love this. Look at the yellow blooms and just how it's actually hanging on this like metal plant stand. I really like that as well. And you know, when it comes to just different planters and just the aesthetics, it really just creates a different mood depending on how you display your plants. But let's just go ahead and pick up a bunch of these plants. Feel free to leave in the comment section again what you think, but I am just really happy to see that Costa Farms trending tropical house plants are on sale right now. You are going to save money whenever you go to Lowe's and find these originally for $19.98. Now they're only for $14.98. So let's just take a gander. Let's pick up some plants. Let's celebrate the fact that we're going to be saving money potentially if you go big box store plant shopping and you have the Lowe's app. Like I said again, going big box store plant shopping, it is imperative that you already enroll yourself in these loyalty programs, whether it's at Target and you're using the Target Circle app, the My Lowe's Rewards app, or Walmart app, or even the Home Depot app. Trust me, you will get digital coupons. You can price match. You can do a lot of things with these big box store apps. So let's go ahead and just keep picking up these plants. You can see we've got some Costa Farms bonsai right over here. This is a little cute little jade bonsai, and these are only for not a bad price at all. I would call these more like pre-bonsai because there's still a lot of training to get this a really nice shape. Have you ever just looked at plants like this Dieffenbachia and you're looking at how full it is, how lush and green it is, how healthy it is, and it makes you tempted to buy the plant, but when you realize that the plant care tips, the fact that you may have already sent that type of plant to plant heaven, and you really don't need to be buying it, that is what I feel whenever I pick up a Dieffenbachia, because they do look similar to Aglaonemas, but there is just more care that's required for a Dieffenbachia. So for me, and you can, take my my advice, I wouldn't necessarily call that a beginner plant. These plants, however, that I'm picking up, these pothos plants right here, this global green pothos on sale originally for $19.98. Lowe's Deals has it for $14.98. Love that green on green variegation. This is another easy to care for plant. Any pothos plant is going to be a lot easier to take care of as compared to other plants. Now you can see right here, we've got a philodendron ring of fire. And one thing I discovered about philodendron ring of fire is the variegation is very much so reliant on the amount of light you give it. So if you don't give it a lot of bright indirect light, it will end up having more of a greenish tone. Same thing with the philodendron golden crocodile. Those serrated philodendrons are really reliant on just the lighting conditions. Now this one right here is an urban jungle plant, and this is another Aglaonema that I often feature. This is called the Aglaonema Golden Bay. You can see that it looks like the silver bay, but the middle part of it has more of like a yellowish golden tone, and it has white stems. White stem Aglaonema is beautiful. I would say, Aglaonemas, please buy yourself an Aglaonema. Can we please get Aglaonema trending? I know there are a lot of plant foldies that have used the hashtag popularized Aglaonema. If you haven't, can we do that whenever you comment on this video, whenever you post about Aglaonemas on your social media, such as Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, anywhere? use the hashtag popularize Aglaonema. Speaking of Aglaonema, doesn't this Homolemena shelby almost remind you of like an Aglaonema? I love the Homolemena shelby, but this is another plant that, those velvety textured leaves, they tend to be a little bit more spider mite prone, but needless to say, what a beautiful plant. And then we're going to be picking up this. This one is a beautiful urban jungle planter. It's a ceramic planter. I think this is for $15.98. This is a Syndapsis exotica. Beautiful plant. I love the silver foliage and plant foldies. We're just going to continue to pick up some plants, look at them, admire them. Let me know what your favorites are. Let me know what you think of this particular downtown Dallas Lowe's location. I honestly would have assumed that the suburbs actually had better big box stores, but I would say that the Dallas locations are also super full and super organized. So for me, I'm just really lucky to be out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We do have a very strong plant community, and alongside with just having a very strong plant community, we have so many options to go shopping. And that's the reason why I say don't ever let anybody make you feel bad if you are buying plants from a big box stores. It does not mean that you're out to just put a small business or a local business out of business. It means that you are shopping where the value of your money is going to be a little bit further. Although I would say big box stores don't always give you the best pricing. And that's the reason why, if you ask me where you should buy your plants, I would say go where you feel comfortable buying your plants. And then number two, do not restrict yourself to just buying your plants at, say, a big box store, because local and small businesses offer so many varieties of plants that can almost match big box store pricing, or even be better than big box stores. I would say 5 years ago, big box store plants had a bit a better edge when it comes to like comparison of pricing for local and small businesses. But now I've even seen local and small businesses. For instance, you already know Plant Foldies. I'm gonna shout out my favorite plant shop in Dallas, Peta's Planters. She has very cost-effective plant pricing for some rare and uncommon plants, and also Plant Keeper Inc. That is one of the best local nurseries in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It is Dallas's best kept secret in terms of just people not even knowing about that amazing nursery. If you guys haven't already, definitely check out my YouTube videos featuring Peta's Planters. I have a playlist called Dallas Plant Nurseries. Definitely check that out as I continue to just pick up these plants. You already know I love these urban jungle ceramic planters, either urban jungle ceramic planters or the Live Trends Design planters. They come in many varieties, like this philodendron heteroraceum. This one is for $16.98. This is the neon variety. Such a beautiful heart leaf shape, and I love the colors as well. And Foldies, would you agree that this Lowe's location just has so many varieties of plants? If you were to go in person, you would be a little bit overwhelmed because it is jam-packed with a lot of plants. But not only does this Lowe's location right off of White Rock in Dallas, Texas, they are super full, but the plants are also super healthy. Now, I did want to show you guys some more planters. Like this is a planter I've been looking at for maybe more than a year. This is a ginkgo leaf planter that I've been looking at. This one is for $29.98. I would love to get it, but I just feel like spending $29.98 on a planter is a little bit high. You know, if anybody wants to go ahead and, you know, support me and fund me on that, you are more than welcome to drop a super sticker or a super thanks, which is a monetary tip that you can give a content creator on YouTube. It definitely helps me in the long run in terms of just funding my gas and some of the efforts I put into creating this content. Obviously, don't feel obligated to do so, but for those that do not know that that is an option, you can definitely do that. I've utilized a lot of these super stickers and the YouTube memberships to fund my trip to PlantCon 2025 in New York City. It definitely helped with some of my plane ticket and some of my my lodging. So I do appreciate everybody that contributes that way. But in general, when people ask me what is the best way to support me, it's literally just tuning in, clicking on my videos whenever YouTube suggested on your feed, and watching the entire video, because YouTube actually pushes videos out depending on the average duration of the video. So say you click on the video and you hit the like button, but you've watched only maybe like 5 minutes out of an hour, that kind of helps. I wouldn't even say it helps that you watched it, but I would say it doesn't help with the average watch time. So I would always tell people, if anything, if you don't have time to watch the whole video, save it for later. It will not hurt my feelings. But overall, you know, people have sent me direct messages about how that works. And basically it's viewer duration. The longer you stay engaged with the videos, the better it's going to be for my YouTube analytics. So like I said again, Plant Foldies, I am a bit chatty today, and I'm also very transparent. I've always been that way, and I always tell people to be your most authentic self. And so for me, yes, I already know that I am super repetitive. Yes, I already know that I'm very chatty to the point where some people say it's cringe. It is okay for me to be cringe, because you know what? At least I am allowing myself to be my most authentic self. And I feel like people try to change who they are, try to make adjustments to how they should go about things. But to me, if you're only doing that to try to please others, then you're never going to be comfortable in your own skin. Not sure if that really makes any sense, but I feel like there are certain people out there that really need to hear it, because I've seen certain people really struggle with feeling accepted by, you know, people around them, feeling like they can't be themselves. I say be you. Plant Foldies, be you all the way, 150% be you, and always be kind. And I say this often in my videos as I pick up these ceramic planters, because I've watched a lot of people make YouTube plant content and Plant Foldies. Unless I am just seeing a lot of big box or plant shopping videos suggested, have y'all noticed that there are a lot of content creators that are really getting into big box or plant shopping? I feel like if there are a lot of people creating this type of content, I want to try to differentiate my content in a sense that, yes, I am showing you guys these beautiful planters. Yes, you are more than welcome to press the mute button if you don't want to hear me chat, but at least I'm offering something a little bit different in terms of just having a full-blown conversation directly to the viewer. So I don't know, Plant Foldies, let me know about your insights. Let me know what other content creators you guys have been watching, and is it just me, or am I just really seeing a lot of people do consistent big box or plant shopping videos? Feel free to leave in the comments section and let me know if there are some content creators out there that are doing the same as far as big box. Leave that in the comments so I can check out their stuff. But you can see here, Plant Foldies, everywhere I go, everywhere I turn, you will see that this Lowe's location has so many beautiful plants. And let's talk about these carnivorous plants. Not to gaslight some of these big boxers, but oftentimes whenever I see like a Venus flytrap or some carnivorous plant, like the plant is literally baked and is mushy, but these ones look like they're super healthy. I've never really been into carnivorous plants, but you know, for those that are into this, you can actually buy them for a cost-effective price at Lowe's, at least a specific Lowe's. But let's go ahead and just keep looking and picking up some plants. Let me know your favorites. Let me know what you think. Let's start a conversation in the comments section. Let's just celebrate plants. And the track that's currently playing is called Charlotte. It is a musical track that was created specifically for this YouTube channel by my friend Jordan. If you are part of my YouTube membership tier, know that I am slowly uploading just the musical tracks on a specific playlist. So again, if you are ever interested and you're still watching this video, please consider joining my YouTube membership tier. It's literally only $2.99 and you will have access to a lot of additional perks aside from my big box or plant shopping videos. I will commit to actually having more of my lifestyle blogs. If you haven't joined, you can definitely see how I celebrated my birthday, for instance, and I will continue to upload on the YouTube membership tier. But yes, the last musical track was called Charlotte. It was named and dedicated to my Barred Rock hen that is growing up. I'm super excited. For those that don't know, I actually have two hens that I'm growing. I have a Rhode Island Red by the name of Catriona and another chicken by the name of Charlotte. I'm hoping that within the next 6 to 7 weeks, they will start to lay eggs. It has been an exciting journey. And, you know, I know I'm not talking about the plants that I'm picking up right now, but I will say that for the plant foldies that have been with them since day one, I remember getting them on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. That was when they were born. I had them as day-old chickens, and I just can't believe that I've been a pretty good chicken parent. There were a couple of scares. There was a moment in time where a hawk actually attacked them. Catriona actually ended up missing, and thanks to Luke, he never gave up on looking for Catriona. She ended up actually in the neighbor's backyard, and Charlotte was actually the one that kept on calling for her, and they ended up reuniting. And so for me, that was just a very hard lesson to learn, but it's a lesson that was actually very much so forgiving because I didn't lose a chicken. So aside from just, you know, showing you guys plants, I just like the fact that I've been able to kind of share a little bit more about my life, share my other interests. If you guys didn't know, I actually love to do origami. So I have many playlists on my YouTube channel, and that's really the thing. As I pick up these Costa Farms exotic angel plants, I'm just reminiscing in the fact that this has been quite a bit of a journey. You know, I've been doing big box or plant shopping videos for close to 2 years now, and we've seen our channel grow. And And a lot of it has to do with just the engagement and following that you guys have so graciously gave me. So again, as I say this in all my videos, thank you, plant foldies. As much as you guys say that I do a lot for this community, you guys actually do so much for me, mentally, emotionally, and you just bring me so much joy. And I'm hoping that even though these are plants that we have talked about for so many episodes that we've seen, you guys have probably already learned a lot about these plant care tips. I think a lot of us utilize these videos just to kind of unwind and actually socialize with each other. So let's continue to pick up these plants right here. So a lot of these Costa Farms exotic angel plants are typically $5.98 in the 3-inch planters, like this Peperomia obtusifolia variegata. Say that 3 times in a row. It's kind of like when you say Hydra helix. That I think is the first time I've said it throughout the video. And you can see this is a Hydra helix, or the correct way to say it is Hedera helix, or the English ivy. This is the wonderful English ivy, and you already know the story about English ivies. They are the most challenging plant to grow indoors long term without them getting spider mites. I would even say calatheas don't get nearly as many spider mites as say in English ivy. So my suggestion is, if you want to grow one outdoors in a container, not in the ground, and you should be able to grow it successfully. Let's talk about these dendrobian orchids. Look at how beautiful that violet tone is next to the pastel yellow. Love that. And then you can see right over here, we've got some more Costa Farms 6-inch planters. This one is for $16.98. Super full syngonium white butterfly for $16.98. This is a Costa Farms hanging basket. And this is how Costa Farms gets you. Costa Farms gets you because they offer so many varieties of plants. They look super full, they look super healthy, and the price is right. So as far as those that buy Costa Farms plants, feel free to leave in the comment section what Costa Farms plants you would like for them to release. I know that they recently released the Burley Marks Flame, and in a future YouTube video, I've already got it recorded. Let's just say that I finally got a hold of the elusive Trending Tropicals Costa Farms Burley Marks Flame. Stay tuned for that episode to debut sometime this week. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, we've got fern, we've got all sorts of plants. I'm just curious if anybody specifically grows Costa Farms plants or just buys a lot of Costa Farms plants. Really curious with that. I know that one of my favorite plant content creators, somebody that has actually inspired me, there's actually a couple of YouTubers that make plant content, but I would say David Morales of the Plant Fever. He does some amazing big box store plant shopping videos, and really he is one of the pioneers of this type of content. So I did want to give out a shout out to David Morales. He has done an amazing job, and I hope that I can also get to his level of followers someday. You know, he has a huge following, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, again, David is somebody that is also not as into being anybody but himself, and I really admire him for being himself, because like I said, again, as somebody that creates content, and you know, I do faceless YouTube. You haven't necessarily seen my face. Maybe some of you guys have met me in person and have seen it, but for those that are actually out there with their whole face, their whole life on social media, that takes, number one, a lot of bravery and guts, and then number two, mad respect, because it's so easy for people to judge people behind a screen name, where you can hide behind a screen name and just be critical of somebody. But I always tell people, whenever you are thinking of pressing that dislike button, whenever you are thinking about typing and pressing the send button to leave a negative comment, just think about the negative implications it could potentially have. There is a way to give constructive critiques versus just being flat out negative. That's something that I don't necessarily stand for, and I am going on a little bit of a tangent as I pick up this Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu Blue Pothos, but that's something that I have always talked about in all of my YouTube content, and that's really social media etiquette. You know, I had somebody kind of challenge me one time about, you know, there is a dislike button and, you know, that YouTube gives it an option. I would say that, but if you really dislike the content, why even engage and press the dislike button? Because whenever you do press the dislike button, there are implications with, I think, the algorithm and things like that. And you have to think, lots of people who create content, or at least the ones I know for myself in general, I pour my heart and soul and time into it. And so if it's something that you want to try to improve somebody, that's one thing. But like I said, again, before anybody really thinks about being negative, just think about your actions. Would you say that to your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your grandmother? I don't know. I mean, that's just something for you to really think about. So throughout this video, it is a little bit longer video, and I did want to point out that that's pretty cool that is a 2-in-1 special hanging basket. That's a Syngonium, a Willandii with another type of Syngonium, the Syngonium Maria. I just want everybody to kind of think about that. I mean, this is an extra long video and I purposely filmed it because I wanted to provide a video where I can really talk freely about some of the thoughts that I have, and a lot of it is social media etiquette. I don't know, some people, they'll make YouTube videos or content to please people. I make YouTube videos and content because number one, I love plants. Number two, this is almost like a routine in terms of I'm utilizing this as almost like a superpower to obsess on something productive. And so if that means me filming at a big box store for an hour, spending an hour to do another voiceover on top of the film, if that helps me cope with some of my OCD tendencies, then that's really why I do a lot of this content as well. And then number three, it's the community. The community we've built. There's just a lot of people that have actually tuned into this. So anyways, I ask for your forgiveness if I've really talked throughout this video more so about my insights versus the plan. So let me actually get back to the plants. So plant foldies, forgive me on that, but I will say, hopefully you guys have found some insights. Hopefully that kind of makes you guys think a little bit more, because I know I've been contemplating and thinking about just where the direction of this YouTube channel is going, and just how social media has really impacted people in a very positive way, but also on a negative aspect. Hopefully, as plant foldies, we represent ourselves in our community in a way where we're always going to exude that type of kindness for each other and just for ourselves. I think oftentimes we want to be our best self, but like I've said in other videos, it's okay to not be okay. As long as you know that you are moving forward and making an attempt to be better, to get out of a rut. I know that there are some people that have actually had situations where it hasn't been the best couple of days or weeks, but know that if you woke up that day, the next day, then you have another day to make adjustments or just work through some of the issues that you may have. I know that that's what I've had to tell myself the last couple of weeks. It's been super tough. I do feel bad a little bit just because I haven't been as consistent. So for those again that tune in and look at all of these beautiful plants with me, listen to my rants, you must really appreciate me for being myself. So anyways, plant foldies, let me just continue to pick up some plants. You can see right here another Costa Farms plant. This one is a 6-inch planter. This is a Philodendron heteroecium, just a green variety. It is a more vigorous grower. This one, I would say if you give it bright indirect light, it's going to do very well. If you actually grow it on a totem pole or moss pole, you'll get larger leaves. This one is a Live Trends design plant. Let's take a look at what plant this is. This one is is a palm. This one is another one that I haven't really been into. Palms are just really challenging to grow because they require quite a bit of light and they're spider mite prone. So that's two X's for me. I tend to go for plants that are what I would say more durable and forgiving, and that is low light tolerant and drought tolerant. African violets though, love them. They remind me of my grandmother. And speaking of which, for those that have inquired, my grandmother is finally home. For those that didn't know, my 90-year-old grandmother, my Lola Belen, actually had a little bit of an accident where she slipped and fractured her hip. She had to have emergency surgery. Thankfully, she's on the road for recovery. Thank you guys for always giving me the love and support for her, for all the prayers, for anybody that has sent me messages inquiring about her health. She is doing fine. She is a very resilient woman, and I check in on her daily. She did want to extend her thanks and wanted to let the Plant Foldy community know that she is doing fine and she's thankful for all the prayers and blessings that everybody has bestowed on her. Now, let me just go ahead and continue to just walk around here, Plant Foldies, and show you all of these plants. You'll see that this Lowe's location is super full. And you can see here a Dracaena Janet Craig compacta, $14.98. Super cool looking planter, this terracotta planter that's hand painted. That's why I love urban jungles, because they have really unique ways of presenting their plants. Talk about a beautiful plant. This is an Epipremnum pinnatum, Baltic blue. This is endemic to my family's home country, which is the Philippines. But what makes this actually unique is this plant, this Epipremnum pinnatum, doesn't necessarily have to climb up a moss pole or some type of structure. It will fenestrate or split its leaves without having to actually attach itself on a pole, which makes it interesting. This one is another urban jungle plant. This one is a Ficus audrey. I actually have mine growing in full sun outdoors, and whenever I was growing my Ficus audrey in my master bedroom, facing the west facing window where it does get a lot of light, it just didn't really grow. But just even taking it outdoors and putting it in full sun in my backyard, it's already pushed at a lot of new growth points. So some plants, they just really thrive being grown outdoors. It's like giving them a steroid shot where they just buff up and get really vigorous in their growth. And so I always tell people, if you're struggling with a plant, if a plant's not necessarily growing, if you're trying to rehab plants, acclimate plants, like for instance overseas, take them outdoors in a shaded area and you will see the magic happen. For more light loving plants like ficus, put them out in full sun, and I'm telling you, you will get them to grow so fast. Now we're just going to go ahead and continue to pick up these urban jungle planters. This one is another peperomia for only $13.98. So in terms of cost effectiveness, I would say urban jungle plants definitely have some cost effective plant pricing. I love the leaf shape of these Epipremnum pinnatum Baltic Blue, $15.98. I remember having one of these, but these ended up getting me mealy bugs, so I got scared to get it. The thing about Epipremnum pinnatum, they need a lot of bright light, but they also need to have a lot of water. They like to be more on the moist side, or at least in my opinion. Otherwise, they don't do as well. Definitely lighting conditions, because if you don't provide them enough light, they end up shooting what you call runners, where it's literally a vine, but it's not necessarily producing leaves. So make sure you have high light for any type of Epipremnum pinnatum. As far as like pothos, for instance, they're a little bit more low light tolerant. So this is a pothos lemon meringue. This is a Costa Farms discovery. That one is more reliant on the amount of light you give it. And take a look at this cool Hoya Kamingiana. So this Hoya is another Hoya that is native to the Philippines, and it's such a cool little trellis that it has. This one is a live transplant. And you know, Hoyas, for anybody that's into Hoyas, I just wish more big box stores would actually carry them. That's one thing I would say big box store plant shopping will not really provide, and that's a wide selection of Hoyas. And we already know there are many people that are into Hoyas. Now over here we have a Monstera Deliciosa. Look at how beautiful the leaves are. You know, Monstera Deliciosa, the green form, that's just, you know, classic. This one is another type of Hoya. This is the Hoya Bertonier in a 6-inch planter by Costa Farms. This one is $16.98. And we have more plants. I mean, look at how massive the selection is. So we're just going to continue to walk around and pick up some more plants here. I know I've been talking a lot about other things aside from plants. So let's just talk about plants for a minute. So $15.98. This is an Aglaonema Red Siam. My spiel for Aglaonema Red Siam is, if you don't have one, please buy one. This is a cool plant. Same thing with this Aglaonema Electric Lime. And shout out to Travis. So Travis is actually a plant foldy that posts on Instagram. He has some huge Aglaonemas, and I beg for everybody to check out his Instagram page, Big Yo Plants. What an amazing collection of plants he has. And he has a huge electric lime Aglaonema. Now this one is for $15.98. Really love the look of this plant as well. You know, and it's really cost effective. You know, Aglaonemas, I would say, are slower growing, but they're so beautiful. Now, maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I've overhyped Aglaonemas to myself, where people are like, Richie, an Aglaonema just looks like a plain plant, but I beg to differ. Anytime I see an Aglaonema, like, I am all about it. And I think it's because it's not a trending plant. And I've always been that type of person that likes to root for the underdog. I like to be somebody that marches to my own beat. I like to be somebody that may have interests that may not necessarily be as popular as everybody else's. And I feel like Aglaonema as a plant, at least in the United States, is definitely the definition of that. So I encourage everybody, if you find Costa Farms Aglaonema, get yourself an Aglaonema Red Siam. If you're lucky enough to find an Aglaonema Electric Lime, get yourself that. Get yourself an Aglaonema Anyamanie, which is a trending tropical Costa Farms. And if Justin is listening from Costa Farms, I really need you to bring some Aglaonemas that Costa Farms is working on to Plant Con 2025 in New York City. I would love to just get a hold of it. I would buy it all. Please bring Aglaonema from Costa Farms, because I would say Costa Farms has made it more readily available in terms of the different colorful Aglaonema. Costa Farms has been really good about pushing out many different varieties to make to the general public more available. Favorite pothos plant. This is the neon pothos. I mean, look at how bright and neon color the leaves are. That is a Costa Farms exotic angel plant. This is a marble queen pothos. So both of these different types of pothos are for $8.98. Marble queen pothos, you can actually increase the variegation by giving it more bright indirect light. Higher lighting conditions will actually push out more of that variegation, and that's with any of the pothos plants. Like the Yesenia pothos plant is one that has like a really unique green on green variegation, but if you don't give it enough light, it'll turn more green. But if you increase the light, again, for instance, taking it outdoors, you will get some really light leaves. So it's really interesting if you play with the lighting conditions for pothos plants, what kind of coloration you get. Now with syngoniums, they do like to have more bright light. They tend to also become leggy if you're not providing them with a lot of bright light. Crotons, like this Croton Petra for $5.98, you definitely need to give this a lot of light. I would even say full sun for it to really thrive. And so plant foldies, I'm just going to continue to pick up the massive selection of Costa Farms houseplants. Feel free to chime in. Let me know what you think of this Lowe's location, because this Lowe's location definitely is super full. If it was still my birthday week, I would totally justify buying this neon pothos hanging basket for $20.98, but I ended up not getting it just because, yes, it is super full. Yes, it is gorgeous. Yes, it is my favorite plant, but how many more pothos neon plants do I need? That's the thing about plants. You will not have the best quality of plants if you exude yourself with just having so many plants to care for. It becomes more of a stressor than a relaxing hobby. And for me, even if it's a pothos plant, they still require care. And if you have so many plants to tend, it's not going to really make the quality of plant keeping meaningful or enjoy. You can't really enjoy yourself because you're stressed about underwatering the plant. You're stressed about having to get rid of potential pests, because the more plants you have, the higher probability that you're going to have a pest infestation. So just a little food for thought for anybody. And if you did see my plant keeper plant nursery video, you saw a mature version of a Dieffenbachia crocodile. This one has flat leaves, but if you watch that video, you'll see that as the leaves get larger and they mature, the leaves start to get that texture, that serrated tone, which I think is super cool. And then you can see right here, we've got an Aglaonema green bowl. This is another Aglaonema hybrid that Costa Farms has. And again, anybody that works for Costa Farms, anybody that has access to Costa Farms, can we all leave a comment to say, Costa Farms, please give us more Aglaonema, source out Aglaonema, mass produce Aglaonema, have Aglaonema for us, because Costa Farms is really good about getting lots of selections of genuses of plants. For instance, $15.98, we have a Ficus Audrey, but next to the Ficus Audrey, we have a Ficus Ruby and Ficus Taniki and Ficus Lyrata. All of them are on this shelf, and so I'm going to pick these up, but very cost-effective plants. Any of the ficus plants will require a lot of light. I would say if you're able to grow them in full sun outdoors, you will see rapid growth, better coloration, and just a healthier plant in general. In the Philippines, these plants can get up to 20 to 30 feet in height. They can be full-blown trees because that's really the environment they like. Ficus plants like higher humidity levels, more warm conditions, and definitely lots and lots of sun. pan around here and show you this gorgeous Lowe's location located in White Rock, Dallas, Texas. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. I know it's been a little bit longer of a video. I know that I probably just ranted about things that are not necessarily related to plants, but you know, sometimes you just want to talk, and at least for me, I want to talk. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Again, please consider joining my YouTube membership tier to get more insights on some membership exclusive content. And then as always, my name is Richie at Growfolds. Please subscribe with all the notification bell on. And if you see videos popping up on the screen, click on them until I put out the next video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.